everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week, we've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Claire.
Hey.
What is that it is, Claire?
You know, it is all of the things.
Nice. Nailed it.
Yeah.
This is a First and Last show where we watch the first episode of a TV show and the last episode of a TV show. I'm not letting Joe say things today. I'm just going to take all of his
You
stuff.
got it from here.
He's 45 minutes of just me. Thank you guys for coming.
I'll just supervise.
But we watch the first and the last episode of a TV show. We talk about things in between. We make predictions about the finale, and then we overall decide whether or not it was a good TV show. This is a fully operating machine of TV review. Everything we say is fact. We are well informed and not too young. Welcome to the podcast. Today we are doing Doug, aren't we?
Yes.
Lady and gentlemen. That kind of sounds like you're trying to do this Seinfeld, like baseline.
It's kind of like Seinfeld.
A little bit.
It's Seinfeld for kids.
I have a habit of seeing the Doug theme, and then I go into some Johnny Cash.
Because when I think Doug, I think do 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 do. Not.
Beep beep.
But then that's probably why I go into like I go into Ring of Fire every time I sing the Doug theme.
Oh,
my little brother had to like hold me down and be like, "That's not the right song. You're singing the wrong thing." And I didn't believe him. I thought it was the Doug theme.
I mean, after a while, so you can only write so many songs, and they all like one song has to kind of sound like another song.
Oh.
Eventually, the song from Sonic's Casino Night Zone to me sounds like a lit song.
Oh, I gotta hit that up.
Yeah.
I love some lit.
Well, one of the songs sounds like a Sonic song.
Ooh.
And I'm pretty sure Sonic came first, but I'm not 100% sure. There's no way to figure that out.
They totally stole it.
I was making sounds though, because Doug's soundtrack is mostly like mouth sounds.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like
effects.
Doug makes the sounds. Like
No,
I don't remember.
No, mostly Skeeter makes the sounds.
So Skeeter's just like
Skeeter?
beep, 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 beep,
I think
beep.
he honks. I think maybe he beeps. He says beep beep.
Is he a Muppet? Like
Have you seen this show?
I have, but
He's blue, but I wouldn't
Maybe-
call him a Muppet.
maybe like
Yeah,
20
he's like
years
blue,
ago.
green, teal.
There's like underwear or something involved in this, and that's like all I can really remember.
Well, now you're going into Quail Man.
Is that
Yeah,
different?
It's a different multiverse.
Oh, sorry.
But before we kind of dive a little bit farther, we have to do a caveat. Joe, how are we watching Doug today?
We take the first and last
No,
episode.
God.
Oh, shit. Just went on autopilot. So Doug has 7 total seasons if you look at the Wikipedia. The first 4 on Nickelodeon, and then years later picked up by Disney, and they ran another 3-season set, picking up where the original Doug left off, but they started calling it like Brand New Spankin' Doug or something like that.
Disney's Doug.
Disney's Doug.
No, you guys said the last season was Disney's Doug, but before that it was different.
Yeah, but then they put that whole thing on. They arched it.
Brand New Spankin' Disney Doug.
They started calling it Disney's Doug in the 3rd season, but they retroactively called it that, I guess, through.
The kids called it Double D for short.
Why does my phone want to talk to me? What's happening?
We're calling Famous
calling
Dave's.
someone.
Oh, don't call people. What are you doing?
Ordering from Famous Dave's.
No.
I would like rib tips, please.
What part of what
They're closed.
Hot link sausage.
What part of what I said did it sound like, yo, Siri, talk to me about a man named Dave?
I don't know. I'm waiting for my phone to start talking to me too.
All right, whatever.
It isn't though.
My phone's haunted. That's fine.
So basically, Disney just like added a whole bunch of crap to the title because they didn't want kids to realize that it was changed, or
No, they just wanted to tell the world that Doug was theirs now.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
probably.
because they could have just called it Doug.
Labels.
So the exact opposite. They wanted to announce that things had changed.
This is Doug, but not your mama's Doug. This is our Doug.
I
This
wish
is
I could-
Disney's Doug.
Gritty Disney Doug.
I feel like I want to go into
He's like Doug, but he's twisted.
I want to go into a deep dive onto like
Quail Man murders people now.
Yeah.
on Disney Channel. But I want to go into like what the drama was, like why Nickelodeon would like quit the show, like sell the show, or like what happened. I feel like I'm gonna go back and read about that.
I kind of feel I started to read a little bit about like the not that end of it, not the end, but like the origins of it, because they started this initiative, I think in 1991.
The
if I
Avengers
remember.
Initiative.
The the Nicktoons initiative, where they started doing like original animated content starting with Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy. To that point, Nickelodeon was mostly either live action TV shows or cartoons that they just bought from other networks.
How
Do you guys remember like Double Dare though?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Mark Summers.
that was great.
Mark
Those-
Summers was like in charge of every single like kids.
Yeah, he's gonna officiate
Game
our
show.
wedding.
Nice.
I don't know about that.
I sent him an email today. He'll get back to us.
I mean, he's not. He can't be doing that much work, right? If you can't get him, we'll try to work on LeVar Burton.
If we could get him,
Is
either
Mark
of
Summers-
those people.
Mark
oh,
Summers is local, right? I thought he's a Minnesota guy.
No.
I don't know.
I
I'll
don't know.
Google.
Well, we'll find out.
I want to know.
But yeah, so the early 90s, they started wanting to do original animated shows. And what was interesting is that they, like, instead of trying to find, like, something that was going to be a surefire hit, because a lot of the cartoons at the time were things that were other properties, like Ninja Turtles was a comic book before it was a TV show.
Yeah.
They just wanted to find animators that had their own stories and said, like, hey, like, we're going to give you a full-on TV show. Go make whatever you want to make. They even gave them the money to, like, start their own animation studios. So,
Way to go, Nickelodeon.
yeah. So, like, the three that started, like, they all just got to, like, build their whole team and build their whole studio and just, like, take a shot on a show called Doug or Rugrats.
Where did was Rocco's Modern Life on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, that was shortly after that. I think Rocco might have been the fourth one, and then after that, like, Two Angry Beavers. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that's a show.
And
I
then,
don't think I ever really saw any of that.
like Cat Dog,
Yep.
and then that's about where I fall off.
Yeah. Okay.
There's stuff after that, but I don't know what it is.
I bet it is. But so we're doing a thing that we're only watching. We made a group decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the weird break in between Disney purchasing Doug or airing
Mm-hmm.
Doug, we're going to only do Nickelodeon Doug.
Yeah.
Because we assume that there's probably an ending there.
Yeah.
It's
Keeping it old school.
So we know one or two things about the last episode. Because, like, right, you say they did 2, like, stories per episode?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Each episode is a half an hour, but they did 2, like, short stories within an episode.
Okay. So it's like we get to watch 4 TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, we win tonight. But like the last episode in the Nickelodeon is like graduation day,
Mm-hmm.
and then Doug's bad trip.
Yeah, Doug's bad trip.
Doug tries heroin in college
Yeah.
for the first time or something.
Doug's big bad bender.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch this.
Doug hits rock bottom.
Doug murders his entire family.
Oh.
25 to life for Doug. Right after graduation day. So we're only going to do the first 4 seasons, which is the Nickelodeon,
Mm-hmm.
presented by Stickly. That was the stick guy.
Yeah, the
You-
talking popsicle stick.
talking popsicle stick. You're looking at me like you
Oh.
don't know what I'm talking about, Claire.
I feel like I know this stuff, but it's not at the top of my brain.
I had like because this is like early 90s. This is like because Doug was like what 94? No,
91, I thought. Didn't you just say that, Joe?
I mean I said it before we started.
I said it,
Yeah.
but I don't remember. if
August
that's right.
1991 is when it started, and the Nickelodeons went until January 1994.
Okay.
So I remember watching Doug, but 94 I was only 9,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was at like daycare, but I was an older kid, so I didn't have to take naps.
Ah.
While other kids had to take naps.
What?
So I got to go downstairs and watch the Nickelodeon during the middle of the day,
Mm-hmm.
which was when Stickly was on. So it was
Mhm.
like Salute Your Shorts.
Ooh, great show.
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude. Yeah.
Love that show.
Um,
Why are we watching those shows, guys? I'm
don't
way
know.
more excited about Hey Dude.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Less
Doug
available,
is great.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna really like this. That's what I'm looking forward to because I remember liking it a lot as a kid, and I'm not even a cartoon person.
Right.
I'm afraid of getting weirdly sentimental about this. I feel like part of this
can't wait.
might touch
Josh
my
will
heart.
give you a hug. It'll
I
be
cannot wait for Joe to cry on air.
great. Yeah, that'll be the time.
Yeah.
A tear
If
goes
he,
down.
I'll have my phone ready so I can snap a picture of Joe
I
crying.
feel like Doug might be on Frasier level. Like, they might be funny, but there might be some, like, really...
Oh, so you mean you're gonna love it
serious
but not
moments.
finish it?
Yeah. Like a burrito that's too big.
I mean, you know, 'cause you can always have leftovers. So that's what we're doing. We're only doing Nickelodeon. Don't be mad at us. We will potentially come back to Disney's Doug
If it's good.
Well, I mean, Nickelodeon's Doug. There's no way it's going to be bad, right?
When we inevitably get purchased by Disney.
Yeah, when Disney buys us, they'll force us in our contract to review their shows exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
They can put us on their streaming service.
Yeah, we're going to be on the Disney Channel.
Ooh, that's kind of creepy. I don't know. I'm a teacher even. I'm just like, no thanks. There's stuff they have now where it's like, it's like Hannah Montana and like girls with like weird hair. They have like cartoons like this now though, right?
I think so.
They've got to have some like, or do they just keep replaying this show on like Nick?
I don't know.
Cartoon Time.
I mean, we'll watch it, but I feel like Doug's not going to sell today. It's probably like too slow or something.
Okay. Well, there's two short episodes though in it, so I like that.
Guys, Patty Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Just remembered that lady's name. Her name was Patty Mayonnaise.
It's great. It sounds like a
I like
good
how you
burger.
say it. So say her last name again.
Mayonnaise.
See, you changed it. Like, how do you actually say it?
Patty Mayonnaise.
Like, are you a mayonnaise kind of person?
Or mayonnaise? What?
Like, are you like I'm like a mayonnaise.
Oh, man.
Oh, mayonnaise.
Like, if I'm going to say it.
No.
But that's not how I would say her name.
No, mayonnaise.
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 Mayonnaise?
But when I'm saying, like, are you going to go get the mayonnaise?
Yeah, are you going to go? Well, I'd probably ask you if you're going to, do you like want mayo?
You
So
would be like, mayonnaise.
But I won't call but I'm not calling her Patty Mayo.
Ooh, I like that, though.
Her name is Miss Mayonnaise, and you better get that right.
I'll work on it.
Deal with it. Should we just do this? I mean, it's a cartoon show on Nickelodeon, guys. This is what we're going for.
Yep.
But do you guys know the characters besides Patty,
Doug,
Skeeter.
Skeeter? There's parents involved, I think.
They got parents. Yeah, they're not
Is
not
it at
lost
school,
boys.
at home?
Both. Just pork
Both.
chop.
Pork
Okay.
chop. The dog. I was gonna say, what's the dog's name?
Oh, what a fun name.
Pork chop.
Sister Judy.
Would you read this?
His
or
neighbor.
Do you just remember this?
He's got teeth. I don't
Ned
remember
Flanders?
his name. Yeah. The teeth guy. There's like a
He's got teeth. What is he got?
there's a
Really?
guy in the neighborhood that like runs the ice cream shop, and there was like cement in the ice cream.
Man,
Wow.
Joe's a
He's gonna have a moment.
resident Doug expert. Joe over here.
Is this like a
There's like
show?
a rich girl. Roger Klotz.
Who's
bully?
the? Is that the bully? Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, who's the? You just said the name of the person.
Do you remember watching this? You know so much.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
Like, were you like tuning in for Doug?
No, I don't think at that age. I don't think you tuned in regularly to TV shows, right? Or
We
maybe
would
Power
sneak
Rangers.
TV. We would like run away, like hide upstairs and like turn on.
Power Rangers was like every day after school, but I feel like Doug, for some reason, I don't have a scheduled time in my head.
Maybe it like was a summer show.
I only tuned in when all the other little dumb kids were sleeping, and I was at.
It's the best.
Yeah, and Doug was great, but man, when
And
you
then
got
they had cable.
when you got Doug
Dang.
sandwiched between like "Hey dude" and "Salute your shorts" or whatever,
Are you afraid of the dark?
are you?
Great show.
Probably not great at first and lasting it,
No.
but I would really like to watch. Just have a reason to watch. You Are Afraid of the Dark. Are you afraid of the dark?
You are afraid of the dark.
You are. The show's just like, hey, you are afraid of the dark.
When you guys do your like are you guys doing that Halloween thing again? Do you guys did where you like make movies for Halloween, or like that's
this
like
is
a real life?
you're asking a thing that
Sorry,
nobody.
I'm
has
asking
a clue.
about real life things, podcast listeners.
One of our friends wanted to make spooky Halloween movies for last Halloween.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that was tight.
making an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the length it would be.
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
I don't know.
I wrote
All
a
right.
script. It was decent.
All right,
You
everybody.
loved it.
We're getting off track, and
Sorry,
Jimmy's not
guys.
here, so
Sorry,
I'm getting
Jimmy.
for it. Let's get into this first episode of Doug, and we will see you after that. What in the Neematoad happened? Find out now when we're back from the first episode of Doug. Did you like that one?
I like
Oh
it.
shoot! Someone's gonna have to read something, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You got it
okay.
open. I thought you were prepared.
Oh, weird. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, this is just backwards. For a second, I thought we were doing it. The Wikipedia has number 1 overall. It has the episode we watched is number 2,
Wait, what?
and then the other one is number 1.
Huh. What other one?
So the one that's next on Hulu that says it's episode 2, According to the Wikipedia, it says it's number 1. But that doesn't make any sense because this is definitely the first episode.
He moved to town, yeah.
He moved to town.
I mean, you met all of the characters.
Unless the other episode is like a prequel. Like
it's called
Doug in the Other Town.
I don't know what production code is, so it's like 101 and the other one is 102. But it kind of makes it sound like the other one aired first.
Maybe that was their pilot.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
But in the actual order of the show, they wanted this to be the first episode.
Right, they could have aired the other one first just to like show like, hey, this is what it's going to be like. There's going to be 2 15-minute parts. Mm-hmm. Here's kind of a normal adventure for Doug and his friends.
Right. Interesting. So we didn't do it wrong,
That seems
audience.
like a stretch.
It just seems
a
weird.
stretch.
Also, I'm drinking one of those 70-calorie White Claws, guys, and it says watermelon. It tastes like cucumber.
That is my least favorite
It tastes like cucumber.
of the Summer Claws.
It's weird. They're bad, guys. Just
I like them.
When you're ordering things, just make sure they have all the calories.
I call them Summer Claws.
Nah, gotta get that summer body down.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You've got like one more week, and then you're gonna go to full strength claws.
We live in Minnesota. The summer's over.
It literally is fall today.
Like the first day of fall. For real?
No, I felt like it. Were you outside at all?
Yeah, I biked to work.
I figured. Didn't it feel like fall?
It felt amazing.
It smells like fall. It's like, oh no, the winter's coming.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know how that works with like the Game of Thrones reference. I didn't mean to like make that connection. I've never seen that show.
You nailed it.
You nailed the reference.
Cool.
All right, here's the write-up, guys. This is what happened. We watched the episode called Doug Bags a Neematoad. The funnies have moved from Bloatsburg and are just arriving at their new home in the town of Bluffington. 11-year-old Doug Funny writes his thoughts in his journal and worries he will not be able to make any friends. On a search to find food for his mom, Theta, dad, Phil, sister Judy, and himself, Doug meets his next-door neighbor, Mr. Dink. He shows Doug a video about Bluffington and introduces him to the popular hangout fast food restaurant called the Honker Burger. When Doug gets to the hangout, he meets Skeeter Valentine and befriends him right away. Doug also meets Patty Mayonnaise and right away has a secret crush on her. However, all is not well when he also meets the local bully, Roger Klotz, who tricks Doug into believing he has to catch a monster called a Neematoad at Stinson's Pond to be a town hero. That's all that happened. We'll see you after the finale of Doug. I mean, what are you doing, Joe?
I'm just reading IMDb facts about this show. I started lolling about the second fact here says the origin of the character Patty Mayonnaise is the combination of the names of 2 girls Jim Jinkus had a crush on in school. So one girl named Patty, the other girl named Mayonnaise.
Maybe.
Maybe it's like Mary.
Marynaise?
No, they just changed it.
Okay.
And so apparently the town they live in, Bluffington, is named after like the Bluffing Institute or like the Bluffing Company.
Yeah, this is like a rich family called the Bluffs.
Okay. They also said that Bluffington was the bumper sticker capital of the world, and I hate bumper stickers with a passion.
Wait, why?
Because I think they're dumb.
Like, just in general, you don't like that people can express themselves on their car? Like,
no, I don't like it.
I'm not a personal bumper sticker person. Like, the only time I've had like a sticker, I put it in my window and then I like took it out when I like didn't want it anymore.
There's like 1 or 2 people, you get the people that put like a bumper sticker on their car and it's like whatever, But then you far too much see the person that has like 30 bumper stickers on their car, and you're like,
did you ever do that in your life? Like, or have a car?
I've never had a bumper sticker.
Yeah, I've never had a bumper sticker.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
0.
When I was growing up, though, we bought this van because our other car died, and it like was already covered in bumper stickers. So then my brothers decided to just continue and make it look even worse.
Sure.
We also took the seats out and put beanbag chairs in and like made it look really bad.
Like at a point that you just be making your car become a spectacle. Like
Yeah.
with like that.
But which I think that some people do with bumper stickers.
I get
upset when the bumper stickers like are trying to make me angry. Like, that's it.
Well, that's every bumper sticker that I see. They're all trying to make me angry.
What if it's like I just have a bumper sticker that's like St. Louis University? Like that's it.
I'm saying like one is like passable. I'll be like fine, but like you hit like people just like your whole back end's covered or like
What
you're covering your whole thing. It's like what do you? I'm just
gotta-
driving here. I don't got time to read all this. Get out of my face.
What if you have like gotten in an accident and your bumper's like cracked and you use them to cover the crack? I feel like that happens more than you think. They're covering up like the scrape paint job.
I mean, it looks terrible either way.
Yeah, right? I think that my favorite thing about bumper stickers, other than the fact that like I agree, I don't utilize them myself, but when you are driving and then you see that car with a bumper sticker and you like see them like in another part of town, you're like, oh man, it's that Saturn.
There's that bumper dummy.
Yeah,
That's
I get
what I
excited
call 'em.
about that. But yeah, I thought that was strange, and then I was wondering if that company in the show like made bumper stickers. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah,
that?
I was like, are they making Bluffington bumper stickers or something like that?
And also for a town of 20,000 people, they're very wealthy.
Yeah, seems like not a bad off town.
Yeah, it seemed like, and they had a lot of things nearby, you know, for like a small town. So, I mean, I'd probably want to live there. I mean, look great.
Hey, if I'm an 11-year-old cartoon boy, it seems like a pretty solid place to live, right?
Totally solid.
I mean, half of this like episode, he just moves there. We meet his family like super quick. His sister Judy has shaved the side of her head before it was even cool.
She was so cool.
She was hip. She was like a actor, like
something,
wannabe. Yeah. She was definitely in arts. She was going to be an arts major. That's for sure.
Is she like in high school then?
That's what I
I
figured.
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he gets tasked by his family to go get them food.
Yeah.
They said go get some
He's
fast
like,
burgers.
He's like, go get some fast burgers. Yeah.
I thought
Just
they were
like-
gonna like get pizza or something.
I thought
Just
there was a place
drive-
called Fast Burger.
Just drive in this, ride off on your bike in this town that we've never been to.
Well, he ordered like 4 burgers, like 4 drinks, like a salad from the salad bar. Like he ordered all. I'm like, how's this kid gonna get you can't get 4 drinks home on your bike.
I did not even think about that, but you're absolutely right. Unless it's in like a bottle.
Well, Pork Chop's gonna help because he came into the restaurant too.
Oh, he could hold him.
He did put a helmet on Pork Chop. Pork Chop is his dog, and it was the cutest thing in the world. It was
I
pretty
agree.
great. But then when he gets into the Honker Burger, he meets Skeeter,
Yeah.
who is short for Mosquito, which is apparently a family name.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So.
Well, I mean, there's like Skeet Ulrich, right?
yeah.
Is that short for mosquito?
No, that's short for Skeeter.
You kind of skipped on my favorites.
Oh, what part?
My favorite person on this episode was probably Mrs. Dink, the neighbor's
Oh.
wife. She was so dry, and like her humor was definitely like a little higher up there. Like when she goes to like Mr. Dink, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna show you this new thing. I'm gonna show you this great thing," and she's like, "Be careful, you may actually impress someone." Like
No.
she just
Yeah.
was
I
great.
feel like it's Mr. Dink's thing to like have like some sort of newfangled gadget that he's trying to show off to Doug.
He's like the old guy that's kind of like, let me talk to you about something and show you something. Everything's exciting. And he's like, nobody actually cares about anything you're talking about.
And he calls him Douglas.
Yeah.
And his wife is like her role to just like be like, "Oh man,
Like rein
I
him
can't
in.
handle this guy." Yeah, rein him in.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Do you remember her at all?
Yeah.
You really remember this show. He didn't cry though.
No,
All right,
no
so-
Joe tears yet.
They did the neighbors, then they went to
Yeah.
the restaurant.
And then when he did the restaurant, he met Skeeter. But then he also had a run-in with Roger.
No, Roger
Oh.
Klotz.
Yep.
Because he stepped on some ketchup and the ketchup went flying and landed on Roger's shoe.
His suede shoes.
They were high heel.
They were like high-heeled suede shoes.
I guess I would just assume they were like boots or something, but
I mean, they're
guess
probably
suede.
just boots, but like he said they were suede.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he goes, what are we going to do about this? I'm like, well, you got ketchup on your suede boot. They're ruined.
Yeah.
Like water ruins suede. Ketchup is destroying suede.
It's just part of the shoe now.
Yeah. You got a little polka dot on your boot.
So as punishment for getting ketchup on his shoe, he takes him out back to the dumpsters and doesn't beat him up or anything. He just like sends him on a quest to find the Neematoad.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day at
Next
7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then he meets him there. Like he has to wake himself up at 7
yeah,
in the morning.
him and his like crew of like 3 dudes like got to get there before he gets there. So they're probably there at like 6:45.
Mm-hmm.
Just like hanging out in a pond. And yeah, what if Doug was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. He just didn't show up.
Right, yeah. It would but Doug is so like wants to fit in and like make friends and not look dumb that
he's just trying not to be a loser. He said it like over and over.
But the Neematoad was like,
that's loser talk.
Well, I felt real bad for Doug and his anxiety.
Yeah, the Neematoad urban legend, like the Jersey Devil or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
the
just like
chupacabra.
Yeah, just like some random potential monster that lives in the pond.
The hodag.
Oh, I knew you were gonna bring up the hodag. Joe's
trying
favorite.
to think of the name.
Joe's favorite mythical creature.
The hodag.
But yes, I would say a nematode is that exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I like that pond that they developed was like a donut.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an island in the middle. It was just
and
cute.
so then he like Roger like teaches him a dance to like attract the Neematoad.
Yeah, Joe, you want to sing it?
Yeah, do you remember what it was?
It's like a Kaluka-Coo or something? Is that it?
You could give it.
Or is that the chicken sound from Arrested Development?
Something like that. But has any one of you ever heard of chicken? Yeah, so he like works at it for a really long time, and apparently Roger and his crew just like hide in a bush for hours watching him. Like it can't be that funny or like entertaining after a while.
There's not a lot of people in that town though.
Yeah.
So
There's only 19,996 other people to hang out with. And so then Porkchop, being the best boy ever, like covers himself in mud and crawls out of the lake or the little pond and pretends to be a Neematoad.
Because Roger and them are making fun of him.
Yeah.
But then when they see Porkchop, they're like, oh snap, it's real.
Mm-hmm. And then Roger stays at the pond throughout the rest of the episode and tries to catch one. Like at the end of the episode, he's like still there.
Yeah.
But throughout all this, Doug is seeing this mythical, beautiful beast running by him at various times.
Mm-hmm.
A beast known as Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty Mayonnaise.
they pronounced it mayonnaise.
Yeah, mayonnaise.
Patricia M. Mayonnaise.
I think his like lust for her is a little weird.
He's an 11-year-old boy. It's gonna be weird, man.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like
I mean,
just
he's
see
not
someone.
getting weird with it. Like he's
Yeah,
No.
he just saw someone, and it's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen, and he's in love. And that's what happens when you're 11.
Okay, maybe I don't remember being 11.
You didn't have your own personal Patty Mayonnaise growing up, Claire?
I probably did.
Yeah, you probably did.
I probably did.
But so, yeah, he sees her around, and he finally, after they trick Roger into thinking that Porkchop was the Neematoad,
Mm-hmm.
he goes back to the Honker Burger and meets up with Skeeter, tells him what went down, and then Patty walks in.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug, once again, steps on another ketchup packet.
Yeah, they're not keeping the Honker Burger clean.
Yeah.
They're
They're not cleansing.
Well, but it's
hygiene
like
problems there.
projectile
ketchup.
ketchup. It like lands in very specific places.
So again, yeah, he gets up, and then he steps on the ketchup packet. It goes flying. He goes sliding. And he like slides under her table.
He slid like 40 feet on a ketchup packet.
Yeah.
I love that Skeeter was like, "You got to teach me how to do that, man."
I mean, it was
great.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
Like when he stepped on it and it cut to the next screen and he was like sliding through the whole screen, I was like, damn. And then Skeeter said it's impressive, and I was like, it was impressive. But then apparently the ketchup landed on Patty's burger.
Oh, perfectly landed. Right on
Yeah,
the
he was
patty.
all embarrassed, and she was like, "No, it was perfect. You have great aim," and like showed like the burger to him with the ketchup on top.
If ketchup that someone had stepped on splurted onto your burger, would you still eat your burger?
No, I'm getting a new burger.
If it was from my own personal Patty Mayonnaise, maybe. But anybody else? No.
I maybe would have caught it in there and be like, "Here, you can have this now." Also, who's putting extra ketchup on their burger? Not me, man.
There wasn't any.
I mean, if there
start.
wasn't any
It
ketchup
was
on
like
it, you're going to put ketchup on it.
Moment.
Yeah, we don't. Did you see your burger before?
No, but like if it was plain before, then like I assume she wants a plain burger.
It was plain. They showed it being plain.
Well, maybe some of their their burgers don't come with ketchup on it.
It is the honker burger.
It's easier to give someone a plain burger and let them put their own accoutrements on, you know?
That's true.
And they do call their burgers like weird things.
White Castle doesn't put condiments on their burgers.
Right.
So I could see.
Do you get them separate?
Yeah.
You just not get condiments.
I'm dipping a White Castle burger in some ketchup.
You dip the whole thing in?
Yeah, and I take a bite out of
Like
it.
full burger dipped all the way in ketchup.
Yeah. Just in a tub of ketchup. Dunked in there.
I mean, you didn't know like that weird tub of ketchup Joe keeps in your guys' fridge? You didn't know what that was for?
Now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for his White Castle.
I had White Castle like 2 nights ago. It was great.
Nice.
That's my ad for White Castle.
Not a sponsor.
It's great.
Not a sponsor. Well, yeah, and I mean that's kind of it, right? Like
The only other thing that I like noticed from the episode that made me a little bit remember the show a little bit more was like he was writing in his diary in the bedroom.
I didn't
during
remember
a
him
scene.
doing that at all in the show, which is I was
You
like,
don't remember that?
No, I don't.
I feel like
When he
I
mentioned it, I remembered it.
yeah, I saw him doing it, and I remember thinking as a kid like, oh, people write in journals. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
should have a journal.
Ooh.
I remember thinking that too. Man.
We should all get journals and like start journaling.
We used to have like dedicated like journal writing time in school. Like, like 15 minutes, everybody just write.
I think we
I
had
like
that too.
Yeah.
We did like the drop everything and read. Not.
I was in a special class because we were like really good readers, so we got to like
Good.
be in a special class.
Mhm.
And when you did like a really good thing, or you like it was, I don't know if we took turns or you got to earn it, but when it was like reading time in that class and everyone just got to read whatever they wanted to.
You get to watch
There was, like-
Stick Stickly.
Yeah.
When all the other dumb kids in the class went to bed. No, we didn't take naps. We were in school. But there was like space above the lockers that were in the classroom, and like the teacher would let 1 or 2 people like lay on top of the lockers and read. That was like the thing
Huh.
that was cool,
That
because like
was-
little kids like think dumb stuff like that is like
We had
dope.
lockers
Just a
in
little
our
crawl
classroom
space
too.
above the lockers.
In like 8th grade. I don't remember people getting on top of them until like the end of the year. Like
They
last
figured
week
it
of
out.
school.
Yeah.
No, it was like the teacher was finally like, I give up. Like, you guys are terrible. Do whatever you want.
I don't care. I have 1 week with you, and I hope you all
Yeah. Fall off this locker for all I care.
fall off.
My 8th grade teachers had like a powwow with our whole group, and I shouldn't have said powwow. Can you delete that? But they pulled us all together to basically say like how much they hated us. It was a lot.
Oh wow.
There was like a cheating scandal that happened. But yeah, lockers, they were a thing.
Yes.
But you got diary writing time in school too. It's crazy.
I think it was either like diary / it was just like writing time. So
I like that idea a lot because it's really hard to write for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's really hard to just sit down and do it every time.
it'd be hard to do it right now.
Yeah.
Should we have listeners?
Yeah. Here's a
Just
challenge.
15 minutes of silence in the podcast, and everyone's got to do it.
No, the whole time it'll be just Joe making all of the sounds from the episode.
Meep, meep.
And then
That's like 15-minute writing ASMR time, hosted by Joe.
Gross.
that made me
Get
feel
those
uncomfortable when I
tingles.
saw you do it.
Yeah, no, I looked you right in the eye.
That was Josh's feet. That's how I made that sound.
No, it was not. Overall, first episode, I mean, kind of laid the groundwork a little bit.
It's a weird adventure for the first episode. I could see how they would, like that they had the production code switch, that maybe they did a more regular episode first.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is weird. It's weird that it's like, it's focused around the Neematoad and like the town mythology, as opposed to just like being the first day of school and meeting all these kids. Like, I guess you did meet other kids, but a lot of it was just Doug by himself.
Kind of setting up the scene. But I thought for a show like this, for a kid, they did a really good job of setting up the characters, setting up who's in the show, kind of making sure you got feelings and vibes from each of them.
It definitely had like a good like Doug like what I feel like Doug felt like. It felt like a Doug episode at least.
They
Yeah.
did
Like
a
it was
good job.
wacky.
So good job, people.
Way to go, Nickelodeon.
He has real concerns about being laughed at.
He has a lot
Doug
of
has
anxiety.
Doug has feelings.
He
that's
is
for
a
sure.
millennial for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of millennials, let's go to predictions.
Yeah.
All right. I got. Oh, Claire, how many predictions did you get?
I ended up with like I added a fifth because
Ooh,
You know,
okay.
just
So you
trying to be-
can't. You're not allowed to borrow any of mine then.
no.
All right. Well,
not.
my first one is Doug and Patty smooch.
Ooh.
Oh, they're gonna smooch like cartoon smooch.
I think they're gonna cartoon smooch.
Are their
my
lips
gosh.
gonna go like really far out when they kiss?
No, I think it's gonna be a normal kiss. I don't think there's gonna be tongue. I think it's just gonna be a smooch.
Okay. That'd be weird.
It'd be weird if they really animated the tongue. I know there's talk of some sort of graduation, and I think Skeeter seems like he might be kind of like a friend, but kind of like a dummy. So I think they're gonna flip it on, and Skeeter somehow is gonna become the valedictorian.
Oh.
Who is Skeeter?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Doug takes a trip to the Grand Canyon.
That's a good
that's his
spot.
bad trip.
That's his bad trip. I think Roger pulls down Doug's pants.
Oh, he would.
Yeah. And I also think Quailman saves someone.
Okay.
Because we didn't see any Quailman in this
No
episode
Quail
at all.
Man.
Which I was bummed about. Because I remember Quailman being my favorite part of Doug.
My predictions are somewhat similar because I have that. I didn't say Skeeter's valedictorian, but I said he gives a speech.
Oh, okay. I hope he gives a valedictorian speech.
I said that Roger and Doug are friends.
Mm.
Whoa.
Like I kind of think
Oh.
Roger's like a Piccolo, like he's like tight with him now.
Who's that guy from Gossip Girl who is really rapey and then becomes a good
And becomes
guy?
a friend. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Doug or something. Roger. I have that there's a Quailman appearance. I'm not gonna say Fallen saves anyone, but I think there's an appearance.
He saves.
Uh,
Quailman saves.
Quailman saves. And I think there's a guitar. I'm gonna keep an eye out for a guitar.
Just like
Okay.
somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like it. I put that Roger isn't gonna graduate.
Oh no,
Like
Raj.
Roger gets held back?
I mean, he just didn't do what he needed to do. I also have a side note that I think that he's trying to hook up with Judy, but like that's not actually a prediction.
Oh,
So.
Roger and Judy, huh?
I think that he's got the crush. He's got a patty on her.
He wants her to be his punk rock princess.
Yeah. So Skeeter is on the vacation with Doug, and their friendship struggles on their bad trip.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think that Pork Chop is in love with the cat.
Pork Chop's got a girlfriend.
I feel like Pork Chop has a girlfriend, but I think it's gonna be like a dog or like an aardvark or something like that.
It's gonna be the cat. It's gonna be Roger's cat.
You're specifically calling it out to be Roger's cat.
Yes, that's
Alright.
that's the only cat we saw
This is
in
true.
this episode. We
Only
saw a cow,
Only cat in Bluffington.
Yeah, it's a good-looking cat.
and then I don't know how many I just said, but my last one I'll do is ketchup will squirt.
Ketchup, be flying.
It will be all over the place, and people will still eat it.
Yeah, I mean, if it lands anywhere near food, someone's gonna use it. That's the Bluffington way.
It is.
So, all right. Well, let's get into this final episode, the final Nickelodeon episode of Doug.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah. Well,
you.
I need them to. I need to be reminded, and I need the listeners to be reminded.
In case they're playing along,
case
they know
they're-
which one to watch.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon one, end of season 4. It's
Yep.
called something about bad trips and graduations. We'll see you after that. Hello, and we are back. We watched the last episode of Nickelodeon Doug.
The very last episode.
Doug graduates and Doug's bad trip were the two stories in this one. Why don't we go with Doug's bad trip first
Okay.
and then talk about Doug's graduation? Because maybe it'll become clear to the listeners as well. But I feel like Doug's graduation felt like a good end of
Yeah.
the show.
Doug's bad trip kind of felt like a side quest.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny. I feel like they should have flipped those in their presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, Doug's bad trip. As the summer begin, well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's technically as the summer begins. As the summer begins, the funnies plan to drive across the country to visit the Great Painted Gorge. Mr. Funny is committed to keeping it to a schedule, but Doug and Judy convince him to stop at several tourist traps along the way. The family isn't having any fun on the trip until they finally reach the stop that makes it all worthwhile.
They all came together as a family.
Including Pork Chop. He's a really important part of that.
Well, maybe they're trying to like start it and end at the same note. Like start with just the family together and end with just the family together. I don't know.
Sure.
In a car.
In a car.
So I should have guessed that as my prediction, and I would have gotten some points.
The
but
family's in a car.
Together.
Yeah, they went on a family trip. So, I mean, it makes sense in order because it was the summer after he graduated
Yeah.
from 6th grade. We'll get to that. But yeah, they were doing a road trip to the Painted Gorge,
What do you think that actually is supposed to be?
the Grand
I
Canyon.
mean, I had my doubts about it being the Grand Canyon, but then at the end when they like showed it, I was like, that is like a actual just illustration of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. But they stopped at 3 places, 2 for Doug, 1 for Judy. One was to go see It, which
Yeah,
was like
this was an unplanned stop. He just saw a road sign for It and
And it-
wanted to go see the attraction.
and it,
I like how the mom was always like, "Oh, honey, just let all the kids do whatever they want all the time." I just want to be like, "Woman, he has a very clear plan."
Yeah, there's an itinerary. He wrote it out.
Doug's dad seems like a pushover. Yeah, it was a russet potato.
Yes. It looked like a bat, though.
Kind of, yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Kind of cool.
Oh.
Kind of. I mean, a pretty cool potato. Don't know if it's worth stopping for.
Doug got a hat,
Yeah, he got an It hat, which is pretty cool.
which is fun.
Yeah.
I'd take one of those.
Because you could tell the kids at school, you get whatever it was. You could be like, I don't know. It definitely wasn't a potato. I'll tell you what.
Oh, man. And then the next one, Doug saw signs for Bug Ranch.
He was like, "We know what that is."
Well, he literally was in the car and he goes, well, that'll be the last time I fall for that. Ooh, Bug Ranch.
Yeah, you lulled pretty hard at that.
Oh, it was funny.
And, they went, and it was just a glass case. It was just like a little bug farm.
A little ant farm with a lot of bugs in
They
it.
did show it. They were like real bugs. I
Yeah.
thought they were going to just be like plastic bugs for a second.
Oh.
It was going to be a big ripoff. And then Judy was making fun of him for making them stop at 2 really crappy spots. But
Mhm.
then she wanted to stop at Blythe Field,
Yeah.
which is just seemingly a field where some poet she likes wrote a lot of poems.
Yeah.
And it was just a field
It was just a field.
with a rock in it.
But I honestly think that that's kind of cool. Like if it has like a history and like
mean,
you
if
know
you're-
the poems that are written there.
Yeah, if you're really into it, it was probably it was actually probably really special for Judy.
Yeah. And I actually even feel like without knowing that poet, like if you're really into a poet and we went to a field where he wrote a bunch of poems, I feel like I could still appreciate it for like, hey, like someone like thought a lot about this place and like had some like creative vision in this place.
Right.
So it's like Walden's Pond or whatever.
Sure.
Like Wobegon.
Oh gosh. Garrison Keeler. Woof.
and
What? Anyways.
and then they left Blythe Field to try to get to the Painted Gorge. They almost got run off the road by a sloth moving company truck in the middle of a rainstorm.
I didn't catch the sloth.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I didn't catch that.
That's funny.
Yep, it was on the road. It was on the side of the truck.
I like that.
And then they got stuck in some mud, but they pushed each other out. It didn't seem like and then they made it to the gorge just in time to see the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
And they saw the Grand Canyon. That in Doug's world is called the Painted Gorge.
The Painted Gorge.
And that was pretty much it. Yeah, it was kind of just like a side, like you said, Joe, a side quest episode, just kind of a little bit. I almost thought I didn't know how much time the graduation episode took, and I was like, oh, is this one only gonna be like 5 minutes long? I thought the graduation was a little bit longer. Maybe it wasn't. We didn't look at the time code or anything. So.
It felt longer, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
It also was like had a little more substance to it.
I mean, every single character from school was in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, on to the Doug graduates. Doug and his friends are getting ready for the end of the 6th grade and are graduating from Bluffington School. Doug feels a bit sad about leaving, so he tries to find Principal BUTT-SAVITCH to talk.
Principal what?
BUTT-SAVITCH.
Oh, cool.
To talk to him. But when he finds out that Roger is as reluctant to leave the school as he is, Doug convinces Roger and himself that the new school will be great.
You know what's
Yeah.
great? The principal's last name.
BUTT-SAVITCH.
But Savage.
which was based off of the creator's
But
principle from childhood.
Based off the
according
creator's
to-
savage butt.
Don't Google that. Just don't. But
I have it on good authority that if you Google or Instagram and you look for hashtag butt savage, it's not that bad.
thank you, Lindsay.
But yeah, so it's not savage, it's savitch,
Mm-hmm.
but they say it really fast. So right away,
Butt savage.
all of us in the room were like, "Did he just say butt savage?" Because, right? Is there a cat under me?
Mr.
No.
Butt
Okay.
Savage.
The cat walked in, and I always think I'm gonna roll over him at some point, and I don't want to be in charge of herding cats. Seems like a terrible job. But so this episode, it was graduation day. I didn't really understand why Doug needed to see the principal.
It seemed like he was just trying to come up with some sort of impossible task to do before he graduated to try to prevent graduation.
Okay.
It also sounded like from when I was looking up what if they said butt savage or not. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It looked like the assistant principal, which was like Bone. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was pronounced Bone or Boone.
Mr. Bone, I think.
Mr. Bone.
Something like that.
He was like the disciplinarian and like the jerk.
Uh-huh.
And so it sounds like he wouldn't be a person you would talk to about your feelings or if you're having a tough time or you need to like actually confide in a person, which sounds like he should probably not work at a school, but that's another thing. And so like when they were going through the people and listing who he could talk to, it sounded like Doug really wanted to talk to someone he could trust, which I don't get why he didn't just go talk to his teacher.
Well, he said someone you can trust, but I think they said at some point, someone said, "Have you ever seen the principal? Do we even know he like is around?
Yeah.
Like apparently you've never seen this guy."
Uh-huh.
So interesting.
So then he did a lot of crazy things to try to find the principal, though. I thought they were really fun.
He like crawled through like the duct system.
Well, before that, he packed himself in a box.
Oh yeah, he tried to
And
like
then his
mail him
handwriting was so bad they couldn't deliver it.
something. I mean, an 11-year-old's handwriting's probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then he crawled through the duct system, and he like saw some like weird purple man shoveling coal.
Yeah. Like,
I just need a vacation. Yeah, it was very aggressive.
He's like he had a Willie from Simpsons like energy.
Oh yeah, like groundskeeper Willie.
Groundskeeper Willie, yeah.
Yeah, and then but eventually they graduated and everything was fine. Well, because he finally got into
Mr.
principal's
Butt Savage's
yeah.
office. And we thought we were going to see
Principal
him.
Butt Savage.
Yeah.
Come on.
We thought we were going to see the Butt Savage, but it turned around and it was Roger Klotz sitting in the principal's chair because he was also avoiding graduation.
But he had been held back for 3 years.
He literally said, "I've been in the 6th grade for 3 years."
Yeah.
So I wish I had just said that, like, he was graduating, but delayed rate.
Right. Yeah.
Also, you don't hold kids back anymore, so that would not be appropriate. Just saying.
What do you do for like kids like that?
Well, in elementary to middle school, you just kind of get passed from grade level to grade level.
Okay.
And then in high school, you have to get credits. But there's a lot of
So you can
research. There's
get-
a lot of research that shows that holding a kid back can be really developmentally stunting to a person.
Well, it seems like it seems like being held back, and especially staying in a school, could be one of the most embarrassing things, like literally that could happen to someone almost ever in their entire life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, at their most fragile state.
yeah. Like high school doesn't matter. Like, and once you're done with it, like you're forever done with it. But if you like had to continue to do the same grade over and over again, and everybody around you knew it, that could like destroy you.
But the act of not having a consequence for failing grades and not passing makes it really hard to motivate a middle schooler to like try. When
Yeah.
you're like, well, whatever, like you're just gonna move me up next year anyway.
They haven't figured this out like over the course of like hundreds of years of thousands of years of people doing school, like how to like
How to motivate challenging learners.
or just to like say like if you don't like we gotta figure out how to do it, or like something, because some kids like do bad just because they like do bad, but some need help, you know.
Yeah.
So there's obviously some, depending on what school it is, there's programs like help kids with like that need help.
Clearly, if
But
a
there
kid
needs to
is
be, like-
failing, they would.
But there are just
Hopefully-
kids that are just like fuck ups, like, and they're just because they just don't want to try. Like they're smart enough, but they
Yes.
just don't do it. There should be some sort of punishment for that.
Yeah, so what do you say to the kid that's like, who cares? You're just going to pass me anyway.
Well, then you try to explain to them why it's important to learn. And then you try to show them, okay, you need to know the tricks. Like, I get it. You don't want to do your homework. Well, you need to pass every single test. Because a lot of times tests are weighted higher than homework assignments and things like that. And at that age, you're right. If you're like a gifted student and this is boring for you and you're like, I don't really care, at least pass your test so you can pass the class.
Yeah, that's kind of mind-blowing to me because then it's like why pass the class to just pass the class if I'm just going to get passed anyway? Like, why do this work?
Well,
There's
I'm
no net
glad
gain.
nobody told you about this
Yeah, I
in
know,
middle
right?
school.
I mean, it does. I
Have
mean,
you-
I guess you have. I mean, if they're smart enough, it depends on what their aspirations are after school. If they're just like, I hate school, but I'm smart, I don't care.
But like,
But then you're like, you do
Middle
want to go
school
to
how much
grades
do your middle
don't
school
care.
grades?
You
Yeah,
do
that's
wanna
what
go
I
to-
was say. Like, doesn't matter if you fail all your middle school classes.
middle school doesn't.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter.
But like,
There
kids still
better
mess
not
around
be
and,
any
like,
children listening to this podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
And
is
maybe
like,
other states and other school districts are different. I've worked in several, but
if I'm in 8th
Yeah.
grade and I'm like, okay, I know how to like read, but I don't want to read this book. You're telling me I'm gonna fail if I don't read this book.
But you're
but
telling me I'm going to
nothing
9th
matters?
grade next year no
Yeah.
matter
what I
what.
would say was,
Okay,
you
I'm
don't
gonna go
wanna
take some naps then.
No, I'd be like, here's the book on tape. Pass the test. Use a strategy.
Book on tape. I think that oh man, kids shouldn't be listening to books on tape.
I disagree.
But Rick, I mean, don't you need to be able to read?
I mean, yes, but the most important thing about reading is doing what?
Comprehending?
Comprehending and understanding what you're reading, right? So if you're a person where it struggles to read and comprehend, but you can listen to it and comprehend it, that's the more important piece, right? So you have to always think about what's the purpose. Now, we want people to be readers, but you don't necessarily have to read at such a high level or make it uncomfortable for you if you're struggling with your comprehension pieces. So
Sure.
let's accommodate. Let's let people be learners in all of their styles, Josh.
But I bet there's
Come
not.
on.
But I bet there's a lot less people that there's probably a lot less people that can't comprehend to won't comprehend. I mean, if people have like, you know, I don't know how I'm trying to say this. Some kids are just lazy.
Yes, I can attest to that.
And then they're like, I'll just listen to it. I'm like, well, that's just because you just don't want to read it. But you should read it because it's good for you.
Well, I would agree. Like, it is a good practice to be an active reader. But again, when you're like a student in high school now and you're seeing how many assignments these kids get, sometimes I'm like, yeah, you should just find.
I mean, I got all
way to
those
do it.
assignments. I got them done.
Yeah, man. But these kids have the internet and that shit.
So it makes everything easier.
I know. But it also means they have a lot more crap to do. But
Can you hold him out of like graduation or something? Maybe that. I don't
that
know.
is so. But he did everything he needed to do. Well, yes, actually, when I taught at a school and it was an 8th grade graduation,
Uh-huh.
they would have expectations for graduation. Those need to be clearly informed to
Yeah.
the parents and family.
I'm still just
ahead
trying to think
time.
of the way.
There
like,
should also not be graduation for anything besides finishing, like, 12th grade.
Yeah.
Like you don't graduate from 6th grade. You just move to 7th.
So one of the things that I feel about graduations that I didn't understand until I worked in some of the schools I worked in was that for some kids, an 8th grade graduation is their only graduation. And it's a really big deal for the families. And I think that it's important to show kids, hey, this is a big deal for you and your family. You're going to want to continue 4 years of your education and do this again, or 4+ years, right? And so when you put it into the perspective of this might be the only time I see my student or my child graduate for a family, or I didn't graduate 8th grade. I didn't go that far in school. It's kind of a big deal. I think 6th grade is pushing it.
I don't even remember.
Like,
I don't
if
remember
you're-
anything from 6th grade.
but
So
if
even if I
you're
had a
doing-
graduation, I probably wouldn't have remembered.
I think I had a 6th.
I didn't have
think we
any
did
form of
something.
graduation except for high school graduation. So
You didn't have like a kindergarten graduation where you like did hickory dickory dock?
if
or-
I had a kindergarten graduation that is so far gone, I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah,
I would have no idea.
I did.
Um,
I said Hickory Dickory Dock. That's
Yeah.
right. I brought that up.
yeah, you really did remember.
I do, but if you're going to like 6th grade, then junior high, then you're gonna have another graduation ceremony in 8th or 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much.
Too
Like-
many.
I get like a elementary school.
Just get a high five and a
8th
sody pop
grade.
and move on to the next grade. You're good.
Well, yeah.
Um,
I love a party though. Like, let's all dress up and have fun.
well, hey, have a party. No one's holding a kid back from having a party
Unless you don't do the reading.
unless you don't read.
Books on tape don't count.
I don't care if you listen to a book on tape, but don't tell me you read the book.
Oh my god,
I know it's semantics. It's in a way semantics, but reading and listening are two different things.
Because you have such a big problem with this, I asked our media center person this question, and she disagreed with you.
If I listened to an audiobook, I'd say, yeah, I listened to that audiobook. That's what you should say.
Okay.
I'm just like, if I read the book, I read the book, but I listened to it.
What if you read and listen? Same book. You dabble in the readings. What is it? Like, you gotta explain, like, I read and listened to this book.
I think that's rare, so I think that's I mean, you read some of it, so you read,
Okay, so I'm just saying, there's loopholes. Your rigidness can be.
I don't watch TV and tell you that I read the episode of Doug.
If you had the subtitles on and the sound off, I would let you go for it.
Well, then I did read it.
Yeah.
Then I did read it.
So there you go.
Can you turn off the sound on an audiobook and read the subtitles? It's called reading the book.
I mean, I understand the difference because I don't like to read and I listen to books, but it's a weird thing to care about.
Okay, but so they are in the principal's office, and then they go out, and then they graduate, and the kids out there, like, is it Patty and all of them were like, oh, you just missed the principal. You gave a really good speech while you guys weren't here. So Roger,
they all saw the principal.
Yeah, so
They all
Roger
saw
and Doug were
Principal
sad.
BUTT-SAVITCH.
Yeah, because of course BUTT-SAVITCH is at the graduation. Like,
Yes.
he's the principal.
That was strange.
But Doug isn't
Doug,
thinking
you're
that.
not thinking.
They've never seen him,
But the thing about that was he needed that moment to go and console someone else and help someone else to then get the strength to understand that he was okay.
Yeah, that's
the
kind
whole
of
thing was
interesting.
that he was worried. And it makes me want to go and watch a lot. Like, I'm going to Google tonight social skills lesson plans and Doug, because Doug's anxiety and other
Mm-hmm.
like issues, I feel like there's got to be gems that I could like
Well, and then
pull out in my classroom.
in his voiceover at the end, he was saying something about like sometimes you're just like looking for someone more mature and someone who knows how to handle things to help you through something, but then sometimes that's yourself.
I know. I had a moment.
Doug
Yeah.
is very introspective, a lot of feelings.
A lot of feelings.
And I turned to Joe. I don't know if you heard it, but I was like, Doug is just middle school scrubs.
I could see that. Yeah.
Like, because that's like, he's like baby JD from
Mhm.
Scrubs. Like, this is what, like, kid JD is like, oh, I'm going to think about everything that happened a lot.
Skeeter's his
Turk?
his Turk. Patty is, what's her name?
Oh, Elliot.
Elliot.
Is Elliot?
And then would that make Dr. Cox Roger?
Ooh.
Dude, I think, no.
Dr. Cox is a bully.
Yeah, but, like, I don't think Doug looks up to Roger.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Roger's more of a peer than a superior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know who Doug looks up to.
My other favorite thing about the graduation ceremony, though, was when they sang Pomp and Circumstance. And then they did it again at the credits. That was so
It was
good.
just Doug, though.
Well, at the
in the
end, he
credits.
needed to do it, too.
He's saying, well, it's funny because he's saying pomp and there's no words to that song, right?
No.
No.
Yeah, they sang pomp and circumstance, but they're just saying pomp and circumstance
Can
over and
you-
over again.
Can you just do it?
I don't know. It was really high.
Ugh.
And then there's like that part in
It
the
was
song where it
so
goes,
good.
da na na na, and Doug goes, it's a circumstance. Oh man, pomp and circumstance.
I'll be honest, that little credit part was probably the best part of watching all of Doug so
Yes.
far.
Oh, it was so funny. A lot of this was so funny to me.
It's a circumstance. Also, Doug's middle name is Yancey.
Yeah.
Douglas Yancey.
which is a great name. Doug is a great name. Douglas Yancey Funny.
Yancey's a good name, yeah.
Yeah, Yancey's
Solid.
a fun name. All in all, watching Doug.
You know, it's not a good name.
Do you guys recommend Doug?
BUTT-SAVITCH.
But
I want to watch so much Doug. I thought a lot of this was really funny. There's the nostalgia of like coming back to watch this show, but I think I don't know that I ever thought this show was funny, even as a kid. Just kind of interesting, but like this time I was like lolling. It's funny.
I think I would watch this as well. I really liked. I felt like it was useful as a teaching tool for kids.
I'd like to hear you come back and tell us about your like new Doug lesson plans or something like that.
Oh, I will figure it out, man.
There's probably an episode called like Doug struggles with math, right?
I don't want to talk about that though.
Oh.
The lessons bit I wanted to do is like what he was doing here was like I'm afraid to move on.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be in his head too because he's constantly talking through his journal. So you're going to get all his inner thoughts. He's going to solve problems via Quail Man.
I still don't remember. Like all I remember is the underpants.
We saw no Quail Man.
No Quailman
In both these episodes, which
So
is a bummer.
That's why I'm going to go back and watch Doug so I can figure out what Quail Man's all about.
Do you guys think the
good.
You think the Disney version's good too? I think it sucks.
I think it's going to be not as good.
I think probably not as good. Probably sucks.
I'm gonna give it its fair shake when we.
I think it's going to be
Go to
more
it.
silly than like lesson-y and helpful.
It definitely, looking at the first episode, it's the end of summer of this year that he's in.
So he's going to 7th grade.
Yeah, he's 12 now.
Full
So
on
apparently
12.
these 4 seasons were just Doug's 1 year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess with cartoons, like Bart's been, however old Bart has been for like 30 years. So
Doesn't need to age.
Doesn't need to age. Let's get into these predictions.
Yeah.
Let's finish this episode off. Doug and Patty smooch.
Yeah.
I assumed they were going to be in high school because I heard the word graduation. So, nope. Skeeter is valedictorian. You don't have a valedictorian in 6th grade.
Like the green-haired kid gave the speech.
Yeah, some kid gave a speech, but yeah. Doug takes a trip to the Grand Canyon.
I'd give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Painted Gorge.
Painted Gorge. It was definitely the Grand Canyon.
It was a canyon and it was grand.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Roger pulls down Doug's pants. No,
No.
that didn't happen. And Quailman saves someone, and Quailman is nowhere to be found.
No.
But I'll take that one.
Hey, man, you need it.
I had Skeeter gives a speech. I said it was the green-haired kid. Roger and Doug are friends, which I think they pretty clearly are friends. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he said I can still like make
he-
fun of you, and
He literally.
Yeah.
I think they're like
They're-
bully chummy in a way. Like
Yeah. I mean,
they aren't friends.
I think they're friends.
They're acquaintances.
Because like every time that like the whole crew was doing stuff together, like Roger was part of that crew. Like Doug's shenanigans to try to get to the principal, like Roger was there.
Was Roger the one that said like this is for Doug when they were like talking to the vice principal?
Something like that. He was in that scene. Like, why would the bully?
I think I'm gonna give it to him.
They're friends, man. They're tight.
I think
Roger's in like Doug's like fantasies of like flying rockets together and shit like that.
I think like Roger's just that unemotionally available child, so he's going to like make fun of Doug all the time.
Like
but
the other kids know he's harmless, but they know that like Roger keeps up some walls.
But it seems like when Doug needed it, Roger gave him what he needed, which
you guys
is
are really trying to make me agree
what
with
a
you.
friend would do.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
I'm giving it to you.
I'm gonna watch more episodes, and I will call up.
You can
or email.
I hope Joe wins this.
fnl@gmail.com, and I will say you need to deduct a point from Joe. They are not friends.
I think they're like BFFs.
Tweet at Joe at FNL podcast if they're not friends.
Okay.
But what I now hope is that this 1 point puts Joe into the lead for the season 4. He wins, and then we retroactively take his crown away.
If they're not friends, I'm gonna write some like Roger and Doug like fanfic.
Ooh.
Ew.
What? It doesn't have to be gross.
Yeah, fanfic's not necessarily gross.
But also, Roger is a jerk face.
No, man. He's got. That's the way he makes friends. Is he razzes people.
So, no.
I said there's a guitar. There was none, and
I never looked.
Quail Man appearance.
I was like watching as they were packing the car because there's a lot of things going on top, but none of that.
Yeah.
Roger doesn't graduate. Well, we know he does.
Finally.
He doesn't want to date Judy. That was my like side bet.
I don't think he can because he's definitely. Well, I mean, he is 3 years older than them apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Skeeter's on the vacation.
No.
No.
Just the family.
Pork Chop is in love with the cat.
No.
Inconclusive.
And Ketchup will squirt.
I saw nothing squirt.
There's no squirting.
No food.
Not even from Mr. BUTT-SAVITCH.
But no.
They're going to the Honker Burger after graduation, but otherwise.
I know it like closed in on them walking, and I was kind of hoping that there would be like ketchup squirting or something, but it didn't work out.
Too bad, so sad. No squirts for you.
Ooh.
Thank you for listening to episode 1900 of First and Last. We appreciate you. If you want to give Joe a compliment, send us a tweet of encouragement. Tell us what show you want us to watch next. Various other things. You can hit us up at fndlpodcast@gmail or on the Twitter. We have YouTube where these episodes have a fun picture.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Click on all the fun pictures.
We will see you next week for the 4th annual First and Lasties 4. You A New Hope. You named it.
A New Hope.
You named
Freddy's Revenge. I forget.
You're the one that named it like last week. First and Lasties 4, A New Hope will come in at your ear holes next week. We'll see you then. Bye.
First and Lasties 4, Tokyo Drift.
That was 3.